Bonsoir. Bonsoir.
Welcome to the North Miami Public Library.
Bienvenue avec Bibliothèque North Miami.
Bienvenidos a la Biblioteca de North Miami. My name is Lucia Gonzalez and I am the library director, and this is Fabian Sherlin, and she works here at the library.
C'est Lucia Gonzalez, vice manager librarian, et moi c'est Fabienne Sherlin, moi travaille at the library.
This evening we have an excellent performer and we have a lot going on, so I need to make sure, parents, that you're all quietly listening, that there are no cell phones.
Nous avons un peu de monde capable performer là à soir. Nous avons même parents et des témoignages étaient quiet, mettez le téléphone sous silence pour nous tout bien faire dans le programme.
Now everyone in the back, I need you guys sitting down. We cannot start the program without everybody being sitting down and quietly waiting for the stories. Okay? Sitting down, sitting down, sitting down. Say it in Creole.
Tout le monde vient chuter, s'il te plaît, avant de commencer.
Well, this evening we celebrate Women's History Month.
Après-midi, on a célébré
El Mes Internacional de la Mujer. Celebramos en la biblioteca. And I like to first give you a brief commercial about the library.
Avant de commencer, la parler un petit peu de la bibliothèque.
Tell you all the wonders that we have here at the library once you get a library card, and it's the best card that you can ever have because it doesn't cost you anything. At the public library, parents and children can come together and share books, computers, DVDs, whatever you need to take home for free with your library card together. You can do that here at the library.
Quand nous avons un carte, nous pouvons utiliser toute fonction de la bibliothèque, nous pouvons prendre livre, nous pouvons prendre DVD, n'importe ça nous plaît pour famille, nous pouvons la caille avec lui, tout gratis.
And we have programs all week long. We have programs to help the adults with their free tax forms. If you need to fix your taxes, we have them free service at the library.
Nous avons un programme dans tout jour dans la semaine. Par exemple, nous avons un café avec taxes pour filer. Tout ça, c'est gratis.
We have coming up a book sale, and you can get books for like $1, 50 cents, $2, really good books. April 5th and 6th, the Friends of the Library book sale.
Nous avons un book sale côté la vente livre et l'autre bagage tout, et l'occasion livre pour 50 centimes, $1, get vidéo, tout bagage ça, dans la boîte vénitale.
Before you go, get the library calendar so you know everything that's happening at the library. We have all the information about the different programs, including free tutoring for those of you who need tutoring in math, science, and reading for free.
Nous avons différents programmes avant nous aller, nous encourager nous tous comme calendrier, puis tout programme que nous avons dans la bibliothèque chaque jour. Et nous avons tutoring pour les gens qui sont dans l'école, dans math, reading, tout ça, et tout gratis.
And now I want to thank the Friends of the North Miami Public Library, very important organization, very important people that help us put together programs like these and that pay for the refreshments that we serve at programs. So let's give them a hand, the ladies in the back.
Mon que li sot mentionné, yo se zami la bibliothèque là, yo aidé fonder tout programme que nous gagnons, donc l'État introduit yo.
And finally, and most important, I want to thank the schools that have come and brought you here to the library to learn about the public library. W.J.Bryan Elementary, yes, and Arch Creek Elementary, and the media specialists and the principals and the teachers that are here. And now I want to introduce our presenter.
I forgot I have to do it in 2 languages.
Well, li sot di ke li ta remercier l'école yo ki vini la, Arch Creek Elementary and W.J.Bryan Elementary. Kounya li pal prezente mon ke li ki pal komanse programme.
Okay, that's it for bilingue. Thank you very much. Merci. Today we're going to hear stories about women and how they make history, especially history in Florida. And women can be very powerful, believe it or not, and have been making history forever and ever. Some are documented in folklore, in stories about strong women that have changed the world, and others are biographies about important and strong women that have really, really changed the world. Tonight's program will mix fiction and biography in documenting the way women have changed the world. And I am very happy to introduce a storyteller that is a good friend of mine and who will delight you tonight with the stories. Let's welcome Carrie Ayvar.
Gracias, thank you, merci. Okay, that's it. I only know one story, which maybe we'll have time for, that I can do in all 3 languages. As she said, my name is Carrie Ayvar, and I'm a storyteller. Think about that for just a moment. I actually make my living doing the very thing that used to get me in trouble in school, telling stories. Yes. We all love stories. And I'm going to ask the door to be closed as soon as you come in. I know we're getting more chairs. It's nice to see it all so filled up. And I'd like to take a few minutes to think about the shoulders that we stand on. Tonight I'm going to share stories about real women and make-believe women. But they all inspire us, and we stand on their shoulders. But the difference is, when we stand on the shoulders of these women who came before, I can feel that they are holding us, holding on to us, keeping us strong and steady. Like this library. Did you know that most libraries in the United States, in fact about 75 to 80% of all libraries, just like this one, was started with a woman with a good idea. They were founded by women's clubs, many times long before we had the right to vote. But you all know, a determined woman can get anything done. This building right here, Ayvar, is named after the first librarian here in North Miami. And you're going to see this theme running throughout many of the stories I tell tonight. But in honor of another remarkable, courageous Florida woman who built community right here in Florida, I'd like to start with a different kind of story. Zora Neale Hurston, a writer, famous writer. She's the one who wrote many books of Mules and Men and Their Eyes Were Watching God. You might have seen the movie by Oprah Winfrey, right? She did that. But she was a writer who was raised in Eatonville, Florida, and the very first incorporated black community in the entire United States. And she collected folk tales. She collected those stories and went on to share them with the rest of the world. And she said that folklore, the stories that we tell uno al otro, one one to another is like the pot liquor, the boiled down juices of all those great flavors. So I'd like to tell a story in her honor that comes from the island of Haiti. And you know when you're going to tell a story in Haiti, the storyteller knows if you want to hear it by your answer. If I say, Creek, you say, but that wouldn't, I mean, that, you don't really want to hear the story. But if I say, Creek, and you say, then I know you want to hear the story. This is a story about a girl by the name of Philemandra. Now, Philemandra, she was the eldest. She had to take care in that family, in her adopted family, of the 3 younger sisters, the curly-haired, pretty little girls, who Mama felt was much too young and delicate to do any sort of work. So it always fell onto Philemandra to do all the work in the house. You see, it was Philemandra who had to sweep the floor, wash the windows, and even clean out the garbage cans. While her 3 curly-haired little sisters sat around eating bonbons, candy, and watching television. Now, every time Mama would go into town, she would take the horse and cart right into town to do the shopping, and she always brought back sweets and treats for the 3 younger girls. But the most that Philemandra ever got was for a new broom or mop or such. Every time Mama would come back, she would pull up in front of that house and she would sing a little song. She would sing, 1, my darling, come to Mama. 2, my darling, come to Mama. 3, my darling, come to Mama. Stay! Philemandra, stay! Stay where you are. You are much too dirty and dusty to mess up my going to town clothes. And as I said, the most she ever got was a new broom or mop or such. Now, in those nearby woods, near their house, there lived an ogre. A big old mean, nasty man, or at least that's what they thought. He was ugly, I will tell you that. I don't know how mean he really was, but people didn't associate much with him because he was mean looking at the very least. And he saw just what was going on in that house. And if there was one thing that he could not abide, that he could not stand, it was injustice of any sort. His ogre mama had taught him better and to make a difference and do something about it. So he did. He decided he was going to go over and teach those 3 curly-haired little girls how to put in a full day's work. But of course, he had to come up with a plan. He knew just what to do. He went on to town and he went to the plumber's house, knocked on the plumber's door, and when the plumber opened up the door, she said, "What do you want? How can I help you?" And he said, "Tighten up my windpipe." Well, she thought about it for a moment. She said, "Well, a pipe's a pipe and a job's a job." She took out her wrench and she started in to tighten up his windpipe. He started to sing the song just like Mama did. "What, my God? Oh, no, it's much too tight. Loosen it up a little bit, please." And so she did. And he tried again. "1, my darling, come to Mom. 2, my darling, come to Mama." Perfect. Sounds just like Mama's voice. He paid that plumber and headed on back. And he waited for Mama to take that horse and cart and go into town. Creak! Just want to make sure you want me to continue. So while he waited, he got up close and he watched. And as soon as Mama got onto that horse and buggy and headed off and to do her shopping in town, he pulled up with his own horse and cart. And when he did, in a voice that sounded just like Mama's, he sang. What did he sing? 1, my darling, come to Mama. 2, my darling, come to Mama. 3, my darling, come to Mama. Stay! So long, just stay where you are. You are much too dirty mess up my going to town clothes. And of course, when those three curly-haired little girls heard what they thought was their mama's voice, well, you know what they did, right? They went running out as fast as they could to see what kind of sweets and treats she had brought them this time. And frickety-frackety-fracks, into the sacks they went. 3 huge cotton sacks, and onto the back of that cart. He threw them and took them on home, where he was going to teach them how to put in a full day's work. Now, meanwhile, Philemandra watched the whole thing. But it happened so fast she couldn't do anything about it. But as soon as Mama came home, she came up with her horse and cart. She almost heard like a phone ringing to know that she was home. That's okay. And when she did, you know what she did? She started to sing, right? What did she sing? One, my darling, come to Mama. 2, my darling, come to Mama. 3, my darling, come to Mama. Stay, still Philemandra, stay where you are. You are much too dirty and dusty. You'll mess up my going to town clothes. And no one came out. So you know, she sang again. Maybe they didn't hear her. Ready? 1, my darling, come to Mama. 2, my darling, come to Mama. 3, my darling, come to Mama. Stay! Philemandra, stay where you are. No one still came out. She tried one more time. Ready? Maybe a little louder. Maybe there in the back of the house you can't hear her. Let's try it a little louder. Ready? 1, my darling, come to Mama. 2, my darling, come to Mama. 3, my darling, come to Mama. Stay! Philemandra, stay where you are. Finally, she just got fed up and she said, Philemandra! What is going on here? And then Philemandra saw her time. She came out and she told her mama what had happened to the 3 curly-haired little girls and the ogre who had put them onto a sack and took them off to teach them how to put in a full day's work. Well, Mama, she left right then and there and went to seek out her children and get them back. Because that's what mamas do. And Philemandra, well, she stayed at home, but she cleaned the house spick and span till there was nothing left to clean. And so she decided, you know, she was grown, and it was time for her to make her own way in the world. She was going to take control of her own life. And she took all her cleaning supplies, and she set out to find herself some more work. In fact, she started her own business. She was an entrepreneur. She started her own business. You might have heard of it. It was Philemandra's Fine Cleaning Services. Have you heard of it? She did quite well. She knew how to put in a full day's work. And she met a very nice young man. He owned his own business as well. His name was Clarence, and he owned Clarence's Cleaning Supplies. Yeah, it must have been a match made in heaven or something. But they started going out. In fact, after a while, they merged companies, and they even got married. And before long, Philemandra, she was the head of the business. She got them all the cleaning contracts for all the nearby hotels and condominiums. Did quite well. And as a matter of fact, eventually, Mama found those 3 curly-haired little girls, and I have to tell you, that ogre was ready to send them on back to Mama. But he had taught them how to put in a full day's work, and they discovered, you know, it was actually a whole lot better to actually do some work than sitting around eating candy and getting bellyaches. Pass the time so much better. And Philemandra, she actually made up with her family. She did. In fact, they say that she actually hired them and gave them jobs. She hired Mama on as head bookkeeper. And she even hired the 3 little sisters. She hired them on, and they had found work. Sweeping the floors, washing the windows, and you know it, right? Cleaning out the garbage cans. P.U. Thank you. Now, as Zora Neale Hurston said, in folklore we can find examples of everything. Right? So, everybody repeat after me. Take your hand. Oh yeah. Creak. I'm making sure. Right here in the center, this is where the baby is. Tap your hand. I'll tell you why later. Tap your hand right here. Right here is where the baby is. And we know how sweet babies are, right? Aren't they sweet? Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. But do babies have language? Yes. What kind of language do they have? What do? They ooh, ooh, ooh. And if they're unhappy, what do? They cry. They don't speak English or Creole or French or Spanish or German, right? They all speak or if they're happy, right? Yes. So when we have these little babies, we all have to take care of them. And so when you finally get this baby, where's the baby? Right here. Right here. Just check to see if you're paying attention. Right here. When you finally get that baby to sleep, everyone wants to make sure they stay asleep, right? Because you're tired too. So that's what this story is called. It's Don't Touch the Baby, right? So repeat after me. Mamá dice. Mamá dice. Mama says. Mama says. Mama di. Mama di. No toques el bebé. No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. Don't touch the baby. Pomoye bebía. Pomoye bebía. Did I do it right? I'm learning, okay? The kids have been home. Did I do it right? Yeah. All right. Papa dice. Papa dice. Papa says. Papa says. Papa di. Papa di. No toques el bebé. No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. Don't touch the baby. Pomoye bebía. Pomoye bebía. Tío dice. Tío dice. Uncle says. Uncle says. Is it tonton di? Tonton di. No toques el bebé. No toques el bebé. Don't touch that baby. Don't touch that baby. Pomoye bebía. Pomoye bebía. Abuela dice. Abuela dice. Grandma says. Grandma says. Grandmère dit. Grandmère dit. And you know you always have to listen to Grandma. These women that came before, they know what they're talking about. No toques el bebé. No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. Don't touch the baby. Pomoye bebé. Pomoye bebé. Hermano dice. Hermano dice. Brother says. Brother says. Freddy. Freddy. No toques el bebé. No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. Don't touch the baby. Pomoye bebé. Pomoye bebé. Okay, I told you it was going to be a test. Let's see who's paying attention. Quick, show me where the baby is. Who remembers? Show me where the baby is. Look how quickly you forgot. No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. Pomoye bebé. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions today? No questions? Okay. Wait, we have some. No question. Okay. Do you have a question? Yes, sir.
I think you made it. Why did the baby get to be in the middle right here?
Because you didn't want the baby to fall off. Okay.
That's the cradle.
That's the cradle, right? Because we want the baby right in the center. So
Where's the baby? Where's the baby?
Right there in the center.
So, if you have, thank you very much, Carrie, so let's give her a hand. We learned that. If you have a ticket in your hand, you will redeem it for a book. Okay? This book is a story, and this book is a real story based on a real person that founded the children's room in New York Public Library.
Changed my life
And changed the world.
She also started a lot.
And thank you very much for coming, and I hope to see every one of you here at the library every day.
There you go. Another one.
Which one do you want? You got it? Okay. You and you? Which one do you want? There you go. No, I think one to a person.
One ticket, one.
Okay, and you?